the executive director of Alpha Lambda Delta. So exciting. Specifically, she's going to talk to us about what it means to be an ALD member, what perks come from being a member, what scholarships you can apply for, and how ALD will benefit you now and in the future. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Eileen.
Thanks, Taylor, and so nice to see everyone here. Welcome, and welcome to Alpha Lambda Delta. So glad you joined. I don't know if you maybe just joined this past spring or maybe the year before. Typically, invitations are in the spring based on your first semester of excellent grades. So congrats on that, and so happy that you've become members. I'm Eileen, and I'm the executive director of Alpha Lambda Delta for the national headquarters. We are based in Rochester, New York, and we oversee all of our chapters all across the country and the world. Actually, we have some new international chapters that are new to ALD, so we're pretty excited about that. But we're in almost every state and have about 400 chapters recognized, and maybe between 20 and 25,000 students join every year. And Clemson's a pretty good sized chapter, really active chapter. It's been a chapter for a long time. I forget what year you were founded, but it's been around a good number of years. So we're happy to have you here. So, you joined, and so there was something about it when you got the invitation that maybe you did a little research, looked us up, maybe you Googled Alpha Lambda Delta to make sure we were legit, which of course we are. But so I'm not really sure how much you do know about what we offer, but I like to describe Alpha Lambda Delta with 5 sort of categories or pillars or sort of areas of focus that you can expect to be involved with at Clemson or nationally, or just to be able to gain benefits from in these 5 categories. And I'll just talk about them really quickly, give you a quick overview of things. And I'm going to show you a few things on our website, and I'll talk about scholarships and the rest of the things Taylor said. So the 5 pillars of Alpha Lambda Delta being a member is, first and foremost, is academic. So we're an academic honor society. You were invited because you did well academically your first semester or your first year. So like I said before, that's great. Not easy to do. Not as a new college student, it's not always easy to do so well right away in your first semester. So it's a great foundation. You've laid a really good foundation for yourself for the next 3.5, 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is before you graduate. But what that means for what it means to be part of Alpha Lambda Delta is to help you continue that academic excellence. So, some of you, maybe nobody here, but sometimes I hear students are like, was that a fluke? Like, I did really well. Like, can I really maintain it? Do I have to maintain it? In case you're wondering about that, no, it's not required for membership. You're not like kicked out of Alpha Lambda Delta if you don't maintain the 3.5 minimum. But you are certainly encouraged to continue it, and hopefully what you'll get out of Alpha Lambda Delta is a supportive community and motivation to continue that. And hopefully maybe graduate with a minimum 3.5 or, a cumulative average, maybe shoot for the dean's list, or graduating with those Latin honors like magna cum laude and summa cum laude. So that's certainly a goal. There's incentives with Alpha Lambda Delta to maintain high grades through graduation. You get another certificate in your senior year. You can be eligible for a book award, things like that. So that could be something you look to your chapter leaders to help program around, maybe bring in a speaker on study skills, or bring a librarian, someone from the library to come talk about how to write a research paper, test taking strategies, things like that, time management. Those are some things your chapter could program for you and help you with. So that's the first category, is first and foremost, we're an academic honor society, and hopefully you want to continue your academic success. The second thing is scholarships. So I will talk in a minute about the 3 scholarships that we offer, but you are all probably very eligible for other scholarships. So I would just strongly encourage you to look at and explore and apply for other scholarships. I'll show you our page and how I can share with you a resource for how to find out what those are in a minute. But you're all like really eligible. You did really well. It's early in your college career. Depending on your major, there might be, I mean, there are so many scholarships in the country offered by just a ton of different organizations. And I think they probably experience what we experience is hardly any students are applying. Like, it's amazing how few apply. So, you know, there might be some niche scholarship that you could really have a shot at getting. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but that's another idea for a program you could have on your campus. Clemson probably has a scholarship office, like somebody who works in an office that's helps students identify what scholarships are available that they could apply for. There might be Clemson scholarships, there might be community scholarships in your neighborhood, and there's going to be national scholarships you're eligible for. So bring in that person to come talk, have pizza at a meeting, and come talk about how to find the scholarships and how to apply, like what makes a good application, how to write a good essay, how to ask for a good letter of recommendation. We provide some of those resources for our scholarships. So some of the lessons learned through us, you can apply to other places. Your application is pretty important. It's worth it. I mean, it's once you pull together an application for a scholarship, in my opinion, in my experience, once you can sort of copy and paste all that stuff for multiple applications. Just, you know, be sure you're not naming one place when it's another application. You know, make sure you update it with all the new information, but your basic essays can be the same, your letter of reference can be the same. So it might be a lot of work at first, but it's going to pay off, because then you won't have to recreate the wheel every time you want to apply. So scholarships is the second category. Again, I'll talk about ALDs in a minute. The third category is service. So I hope that you get a lot of service experiences out of Alpha Lambda Delta in your membership, and help lead some if you'd like, or look to your officers to do that. But a lot of students like to give back to their community. We provide a lot of resources, and hopefully there's something in your community that you can all get behind and do together. It's super important to give back, and it could be a passion project for something you believe strongly in, or maybe the Clemson community, something comes up, there's a big homeless population, or a lot of nursing homes nearby where you could go visit, or there's kids who need to be read to, some literacy program. We offer and create a theme each year that every chapter can program around if they want. They don't have to, but we do offer a lot of ideas and suggestions for that theme, and it changes every year. And this year it's refugees. So awareness around refugees, what defines refugee versus immigration issues, both into the United States and internationally abroad. So refugees is the topic. Again, your chapter can program on any topic you want, on any need that you see. But I think that's an important thing to get out of Alpha Lambda Delta, is the opportunity to serve others. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4 is leadership development. I also throw career development in there. So leadership, career development. How can you get everything out of Alpha Lambda Delta that's going to help you gain leadership skills, learn new skills, be able to articulate those skills, like on a resume or a job interview or grad school interview or grad school application. We offer a lot of resources nationally that I'm going to point out in a minute, but leadership is the 4th component. And then the 5th one, which should not be overlooked, and is equally important to all the others, is fun, like social, like a social outlet for you. So you're all from every different major on campus. We're an interdisciplinary honor society. Later on in your junior year, maybe, or your senior year, you might be invited to join another honor society that's in your major, and that's great. Strongly encourage you to do that, not if your campus has a chapter. So then you're really getting to know other students in the major, in your major. But Alpha Lambda Delta is interdisciplinary, all about first year success. And you're encouraged to be involved through all your years of college. It's not just for your freshman year, your sophomore year. But hopefully, you know, it for your officers and for you to come up with ideas that Alpha Lambda Delta should be a fun organization on campus that you belong to. So do social things together, go rollerblading or ice skating or bowling, or just get together and watch a movie. Whatever it is, it should be fun, and you should meet other people that you might not, other members who you might not ever have a chance to meet because you're in different classes. None of you are taking classes together. Typically, some might, but hopefully Alpha Lambda Delta is fun. So that's really, in a nutshell, that's how I describe Alpha Lambda Delta. It's, you know, functions like any other registered student organization on campus, but it is unique in the ways that I mentioned, that it is invitation only based on your eligibility. And there's over 100 of you who joined last year, and it's been a very big campus over the years. So does that, Taylor, anything before I launch into the perks, like really specific perks, anything else on that? Is that sort of how you would describe Alpha Lambda Delta? Anything I left out?
No, that was perfect. I couldn't have done it better myself.
Good. Okay, so I think a really important question we hear a lot when students are invited is like, so I've invested X number of dollars, you know, what do I get out of it? And the money thing is always a question when students are invited, because we always describe our fee structure as sort of two parts, like there's a national fee and what you get for that. And then there's the local fee or the chapter fee, and that money all stays on campus for Taylor and the other officers to program or have food at a meeting or whatever expenses are for on campus. So we want to make sure you get your money's worth. And so let me just talk about the perks, and I'm going to screen share. All right, it's the ALD website up there. Yep. All good. Okay. So just first and foremost, you know, I'm obviously our webpage is full of a lot of information, so I'm not going to go through every single page. I'm going to point out a couple things, but I would encourage you, if you're truly interested in learning about what you can get out of Alpha Lambda Delta and you want to know more about it and you want to get your money's worth and all of that, I encourage you to explore the website as well. So first and foremost, we're at National ALD. So that was the URL from 20 years ago. So it's a little bit of a mouthful, but that's our website. What's our URL? So nationalald.org, always .org. So that's the main page. So I would just encourage you to just at least know that and bookmark that. You can always search for something if you can't remember where something was because it's buried, you know, 3 links away. Just do a search for it. But I'm going to point out, and again, I'm going to focus first on just the perks and benefits and stuff, and then I'll talk scholarships. So one of the things that you might want to first pay attention to is the members, because you're now a member. You're not invited anymore because you've already been invited. Chapters and programs is good, but chapters is really geared towards student officers of a chapter. So members is really where you're going to see some of the main benefits that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to skip scholarships in a minute. But ALD Perks is one that I think a lot of students just sort of skip over. This comes with your membership. There's no reason not to sign up for it. That's my philosophy. I hope you all go to this link right now and sign up for this. You have to opt into it. But basically, it can be web-based, but you could also download the app on your phone. I would recommend the app, ALD Perks, and it is a discount program. It's just going to offer you it's like so much in there, 300,000 different types of discounts, including once you register in the program, you'll include your zip code. And it's going to show you different like pizza places nearby that are near you that are offering discounts as well. So movie tickets, shopping, travel, health, finance, wellness, giveaways, all sorts of perks. You don't, you could like disable notifications, like it's not going to bug you if you don't want to be bugged. But like, why not? It comes with your membership. It's a program we opted into a couple of years ago. It's been really popular. So, if you used a couple different discounts over the next couple of years, it's going to more than pay for your membership fee for whatever fee you paid. So, I mean, you could save thousands of dollars on stuff, but anyway, that's the first thing. So ALD Perks, it's at ALD Perks. And again, you do need to opt into it, but like there's no money and you've already paid for membership. It's a free service. Okay, so that's the first thing. So back under members, I'm going to go to ALD Leads Certified. So this is a really big, very popular benefit for membership. So basically what it is online, and I'm going to use the word courses, leadership courses loosely. It's not really a course like you're in courses right now. You might have 15 credits or 20 credits or 12 credits, or whatever. So you're in like full on college classes that take a semester. These are 30, 40, 45 minutes each. But really great topics to help you develop leadership skills in an interactive format. So there's 12 topics. These are online courses, as I said. There's a keynote speaker for a few minutes at the beginning of each one. These are all the speakers. And then there's quizzes and little readings that you do. Self-paced, that's one of the most important things. It's not like a cohort of 20 students. You could do it in the middle of the night. You could take a year to do it. No rush, no deadline, no timing to it at all. But it's really good. It's been popular. You do need to sign up for it again, enroll in it, and then you're just going to get a link and you're going to create login to the site and then just poke around. Pick a topic that you want to just learn about, how to be more confident, how to learn communication skills, goal setting, be a better listener. So again, this is a really popular one, social media, making sure you know what what people might find when they look you up online. Anyway, that is the ALD Leads Certified, and it's at Leads Certified. So remember, it's under member under ALD Leads Certified. So again, why not sign up for it? You're just going to get an email with a way to register, create a password, and then go back when you can, whenever you want. And if you do take 10 out of 12, if you complete 10 out of 12 courses, then you'd let me know and you'll get a national certificate, another certificate making you ALD Leads Certified. And then your name appears on our directory. So your name will actually appear here based on the school. So let me see if there's any Clemson. No Clemson last year. I wonder if Taylor, you know about this. It might be, I'm trying to see if there's Clemson yet. No, not the year before. Let me just take a quick peek. Okay, we got to get Clemson here on this list. Oh, I didn't scroll down enough. Yeah.
We're going to do it. I have faith. I was going to ask you about that. I wrote that down in my questions to ask you to talk a little more about. So perfect. Now we're all very motivated.
Yeah, so we got to get Clemson on this list. So this is the current 22-23. Yeah. And so yeah. So again, once you complete 10 out of 12, but they're actually I've heard, well, I created the whole thing, but they're fun and engaging workshops that I think you'll get a lot out of. Okay, so that is ALD Perks. Next on my list is summits. So under programs, you can see some of and so I'm focusing most on leadership now. These are just 2 events we offer each semester. Leadership summits, they're offered to everybody, all students. Sometimes they're a little bit more geared towards student officers. Some of you might be thinking of becoming a student officer, or you might want to be an officer, meaning a president or chapter vice president or whatever of another organization. You'll still get a lot out of it. These are free, online, couple of hours on a Sunday afternoon. All of the content, so we've offered 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. We've offered 4. It's in the fall and the spring each semester. The fall one was just a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. All the content's there if you want to poke around and see what we did and what we talked about. We have keynote speakers, we do leadership development workshops. And the next one is where? It's April 23rd next year. So that's just, it's again, a benefit to you. You do need to sign up for it. It's free. You know, there's one thing about ALD is you're never, ever charged for anything. I mean, maybe like an honor cord, we'll talk about that, but otherwise, all these services I'm talking about come with your membership. So that's that. And then we do offer a conference actually in person. This is pretty limited though. Only a few students can go from each chapter. Typically a student officer would come. But if you're ever an officer next year, you might want to come. It's a free trip. Typically a free trip doesn't cost anything. We cover the hotel. The chapter covers the flight. It's kind of cool to go to a national conference, and it's in Denver, Colorado next year. It was in Tampa, Florida. You can see all the cities we go to. We went to Washington, D.C. We did it online in 2020, of course. Phoenix, Cincinnati. So that's our conference. Just a few more things. You know, again, you could poke around, but I don't want to speak forever and bore you. So let me just mention Career Conversations is really cool, we think, with little interviews we did with Alpha Lambda Delta alumni who were successful in their field, have really good jobs, and credit a lot of Alpha Lambda Delta with that success. And so we interviewed them and recorded the interviews on Zoom and geared it towards your major. So if you have a major in any of these topics, if your major is any of these majors, you might want to check out those interviews. They talk a little bit about how Alpha Lambda Delta benefited them, how they, and just a lot of tips and strategies for being successful. Some of them work for, I think this guy works for Amazon. It's like if you're an economics major or computer science, he works for Amazon. Somebody worked for, I don't know, you can see where they, the Coast Guard, Rolls-Royce, he works for accounting, and Ed Anderson. Oh, she works for YouTube. So that was a great interview too. So those are Career Conversations under member. Okay, last but not least, and this is a quick one, I just want to point out the partners. We just have a bunch of educational institutions we partner with. They just offer free services for us. So check out that, test prep courses like Princeton Review, but not, it's called Magoosh. Scholars is really cool. It matches you with internships and jobs. You fill out a profile form and it'll match you with potential jobs. Power Notes for anyone who does a lot of research in your major. That really is a cool tool. So just check out our partnership program and see if there's anything a lot of internships, and some mostly in Washington, D.C. and internationally. Okay, so let's talk about, and then, you know what, before I go to scholarships, I'm going to go back to you, Taylor, just to talk about one thing I like to always mention is these are the benefits nationally that my office coordinates, creates, puts online, offers to you. But don't forget about all the benefits at your chapter level, like you are all at Clemson University. Any quick things of maybe upcoming events that are coming up that they should know about, or do they get emails about things like next semester or?
Yeah, so I've been sending out kind of maybe like bi-weekly emails. We have about maybe 4 more events this semester, and then next semester I'll have a lot because we started doing the point system because we're going to give out a big scholarship.
Great. Okay,
at the end of the year.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. So that's another major benefit is just that community back on your campus, that and the programs that they plan. Okay, so the scholarship, there's sort of 3 things I want to point out. Well, 3 scholarships we have, 4 things I'll point out on the page. So obviously scholarships is the tab to go to. So we offer 3. The first one's called the TRO scholarship, and that's designed for students for the money to be awarded in your third year or junior year. So the idea is that you join Alpha Lambda Delta in like March, April, May of your freshman year. And then you get your second year to your sophomore year, second year that's the time you're going to be most involved probably in the chapter. Go to some events, get involved as much as you can, maybe become an officer or volunteer for some things. And then at the end of your sophomore year, you can apply for a TRO scholarship and the money's awarded for your junior year. Does that make sense? We offer up to $6,000 for a year. The deadline is April 1st. Now, the thing about the TRO scholarship, which is the same for STEMLR, is it does have to go through your chapter, meaning that there's a limit to how many students can apply based on how many students joined the year before. So the most important thing about the TRO scholarship is to just work with the chapter leadership. You apply to them, and then they pick depending on how many apply. So if like 20 of you apply, not all 20 can be considered for the national award. There's a few limits to it, but that's all explained there on that page. And we do a lot of profiling of the students who've won in the past. STEMLR is similar in that it goes through the chapter, but it's for study abroad. So at any point, and you're eligible immediately upon joining, you can apply right away. Well, you can apply that first year. You don't have to wait till your second year. Deadline is March 1st. All these deadlines, they're sort of backwards, February, March, and April 1st. So the STEMLR study abroad deadline is March 1st. So anywhere in the world for any length of time, could be a week or a semester or a year, 10-day winter break or May, a May month-long thing, whatever it is. So keep that in mind. And then last but not least is our graduate fellowships, and that is for graduate school. So maybe something you're not really thinking about right now, but just know that you're eligible for that for the rest of your life. So let's say you graduate in 2024, 25, whatever year you're graduating from Clemson, and then you want to maybe take 5 years and go work somewhere, and then 5 years later you want to go to law school or something, you can apply and are eligible for a graduate fellowship from ALD. You don't need to apply for it your senior year of college. And we give up to $7,000 for that. So the applications, each one gives you a lot of information about and this is going to be helpful for other applications, other scholarships, but you could actually download a Word document that to practice on, just to get all your answers ready. But it tells you exactly, what are you planning to do in your career? What honors and recognitions have you had? Gives you exactly how many points are each one, get a letter of recommendation. So you might want to download that Word version of it just to start practicing how to fill out an application, even if you don't apply for this one. So the last thing on this page, as I mentioned, is just all the other scholarships, and check with your own scholarship office on campus. But there are a ton of scholarships out there. This is just a taste of them. And some of these are links to more and more scholarships. But check out this page, and you could cobble together 3 or 4 applications and get quite a bit of money coming to you. So I would check out that page as well. While I'm here screen sharing, and I'm going to turn off screen share for a sec, is just one, it's a benefit. It's a plea also to follow us. We would love a follow on social media. So we're pretty active on Instagram mostly. We do some Facebook, but nobody engages that. And then we're totally off Twitter. We have Twitter, but we don't do much. We're on LinkedIn as well. But Instagram is our big account, and we do a lot of, I think, helpful things for members. So every Monday we post something about mental health because we know how important that is. All the stress students are under, especially high achieving students, and it's becoming a broader issue on college campuses. So we do Mental Health Monday. And then every Sunday we do a study tip. So study tip Sunday. And then every day at 6 o'clock Eastern time, we profile one of our scholarship winners from last year and celebrating any holidays and stuff. So check us out on Instagram, and I think you'll get little tips here and there if you follow us. Okay. And then, if there are any questions, throw them up in chat if you do have questions. But the last thing I was going to say is, just how does ALD benefit you in the future? We're at our most basic, I think, we're good on a resume, right? So if you never go to one meeting and one event, which I hope is not the case, I hope you go to things, but if you never do, if you don't have the time or whatever reason, you at least should put it, obviously put us on your resume. We're pretty well known. We're almost 100 years old. So we have a big centennial in 2024. We were founded in 1924. So we're pretty well known. So I think it gets you at least that benefit in the future. But I think like anything else, you can get so much more out of it. And I think you get out of ALD what you put into it. So if you can go to some events, give officers some ideas for things you want to see happen, take advantage of everything, and you'll see the benefits, from there. I think one of the important things that I'll also to end with, just as an encouragement for you all, is one of the things Alpha Lambda Delta I think can help you with is if you get involved, especially if you help plan something. And again, not everybody here is going to become an officer of the organization or lead something, but even if you volunteer for one thing or help put together one program, my piece of advice is to take your experiences with Alpha Lambda Delta and make sure that you're able to create a story about what you learned from it. So when you go to an interview for a job or graduate school, that you have behavioral answers to questions. So what does that mean? It's not like just on your resume, I was part of Alpha Lambda Delta and I helped plan a service project, and then that's all you say. If you could be more specific about the skills you learned, especially in an interview, but also on your resume, and that's what's called a behavioral answer. So rather than just say I chaired a project, you would describe how you managed it, what you learned from it, what skills you developed, how you were successful in it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's an area to think about, how to give a concrete example for a skill you gained from something you did with Alpha Lambda Delta versus just listing it as a thing you did. So I think we provide a lot of opportunity for you to develop those kinds of resume strategies and interview strategies. Okay, so I've talked a lot. What any questions anyone has? Was this helpful? Anything I left out?
Don't be shy, you guys. Oh, there's one in the chat.
Okay. So, not for spring of 2023. So yeah, that's the thing about the deadline. So unfortunately, it's the deadline is March 1st. So what that could include though is that summer, next summer, as the earliest it could be is for next summer. In May, you could be awarded money in March, or by the time the committee decides, it could be used in May, but not March, or like January if you were studying abroad. Yeah. So that's why, yeah, hopefully, we try and promote it as soon as you join. Like last semester, you could have, yeah, if you got your application in by March. But go for there's other scholarships.
And you get points for applying. So
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's a good idea. Is there any sort of question of, well, I mean, you're obviously, so like I said, some students always ask me questions about what was required before they joined. Like, did I have to maintain the GPA? Am I required to go to meetings? But which you're not required to, but you get points if you do, so it's a good incentive. What are some things, Taylor, they get they're eligible for a local scholarship for points, accumulating points?
no, we have a lot of money in our bank account, so I was just gonna give it right on back to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so first place gets like $6,000, second place gets 3,000, and then third place gets like 1,500.
Oh my God,
I
that's
know we have
amazing.
a lot, so I wanted to give it back. Oh,
Yeah, good. Oh,
Another
you
question.
guys, you need to go to all these events.
I know. I'm trying to tell them. No.
Right. I forgot that Clemson had a big treasury from the past. When are you eligible for the scholarships? Okay, so for TRO, you need to have joined the previous year. So if you were, so the deadline's March 1st, right? And so you need to have been inducted into Alpha Lambda Delta the prior year. So January 1 to December 31st, 2022. If you were inducted within that year, you're eligible to apply with the deadline of March 1st, 2023. April 1st is TRO. Okay, does that make sense? So like I said, the idea is that you're applying at the end of your second year, and it's for your third, the money goes towards tuition for your third year. STEMler, the moment you join, you're eligible, but the deadline, but it's only the applications are collected once a year, March 1st. So if you're thinking of studying abroad, anytime between May of 2023 to May of 2024, you can apply by March 1st. That makes sense? And then last but not least, graduate fellowships, you're eligible whenever you want to go to graduate school. You could be in graduate school for a year and then apply the year after. Like as long as you're confirmed enrolled in graduate school, you're eligible for a fellowship, but you have to apply by February 1st. I hope that answers that. What else? Would you have a scholarship office at Clemson that you know of?
I think so. I know the Clemson Career Center would definitely help us, and they're going to speak to us this semester, so we can always ask them.
Okay, so it's through your financial aid office. That everyone in the meeting. So I would check out that. It's the Office of Scholarships. So there's all sorts of, the state of South Carolina has stuff, private donor scholarships, Clemson scholarships and grants. I bet there's a lot for high achieving, especially you all here, high achieving students. Check out that.